Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I have been reading a lot lately. So right now I need to read at least 200 pages a day to get through my library TBR in time if I want to read all of the books on my TBR before they are due. So far so good. I have in the last couple of days finished 2 books, and the first one I finished was Can't Spell Tea Without Treason. And I think I gave this a 4.5 star or a 4 star. And that is kind of where I want to put this. So I did enjoy it. I really, I had a lot of emotions, and emotions is something that, lifts the ranking up a bit, gives it a bit more stars than if it didn't. And in the beginning I was kind of skeptic actually when I went into it, because it felt like, I don't know which book came out first, but it felt like Legends and Lattes. Okay, that's the vibe. Especially with, it's Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne, and it's the first out of 4 books, I think, because there's a 4th coming in 2025. So if you like this series, there are more, So I think I will read the rest of them, at least one more, to see what, because I did like it a lot. The only thing is that, so in the beginning of the book, I was like, okay, this feels like Legends and Lattes. I don't want to read that book again. I want, or maybe the other one, like, because it's a bookshop in this one. I don't want to read that one again. That was my thinking in the beginning of the book. It's, I don't want to read that one again. If I want to read that one again, I will read that one again. I want this one to be exciting. It became exciting. I did like the vibes of the book. I did somewhat enjoy the plot of the book. I do agree with some people that have reviewed this book and written or said that nothing goes wrong. There are things going wrong in this book. There are things they need to recover from. They need to find a new way of doing things, but nothing really, there's nothing where me as a reader is like, nothing quite like that. And the main character, whose name is Reina, she is Viv, okay? She's Viv from Legends and Lattes. So this is a sapphic, cozy fantasy book where Reina, she's working as a Queen's Guard, and she is in love with a mage, an elemental mage. So in the queendom, the queendom where Reina lives doesn't rule over the mages and other parts of the world in this book. There's a lovely map inside of here as well. So the mage isn't below the queen. The mage can actually make the queen's life miserable if she wants to. So it's a sapphic romance. It's very, I would say, there's a lot of focus on the romance in this book. So it's, I would maybe say fantasy romance, cozy fantasy romance, and it's cute. I actually did enjoy this more from that aspect than I thought I was gonna do, because sometimes I have a hard time relating to those kind of relationships between like sapphic relationships, because I'm a trans man and I spent so much of my life trying to fit into that model and didn't, and I just don't vibe with it. I have a lot, it's not me, and it's hard to relate to in a bigger sense than any other sexual orientation or anything I've ever come across. So sapphic romances aren't really my thing. Just like I told you once before, I'm not into single mother tropes. Sapphic relationships are not my thing if they go like too deep and too smutty. This isn't smutty. This is cute, and I love it, and I love their relationship. and it's actually more, I think it's epic of course, but it's also more focused on the two people as people and their characters, their personalities, and what they bring to the relationship than their gender, and so that's a win for me. Yeah, so I did enjoy it. It was a bit too much like Legends and Lattes for my taste, because I've read other cozy fantasy like the Spell Shop, and then some others I think, and it can be cozy without be feeling like someone copied the other one. So I am looking forward to the next one, because there's like in the last chapter of this book is an epilogue where we have like the first chapter of the second book. And I'm really looking forward to that. Really sparked something in me to read that part. So I'm really looking forward to the next one. I think there's something about pirates in that one. So I am looking forward to that one. So unfortunately, my library doesn't have any more in this. They have just recently gotten this one. I'm like one of the first people reading this, I think. So I don't know how long I'm gonna have to wait for the second and third one to be available at the library, because I didn't love this one enough to want to buy it or want to buy the sequel. So I'm just gonna have to wait unless this gets stuck in my mind. Because if you watched my end of the year video with the books that live in my mind rent-free, you know that some books that I didn't really think during last year would affect me so much did, and they earned a spot up here. So this is still a contender for a spot up here. It depends on how it stuck with me and how much I think about it, and maybe that will make me want to buy the second one. But for right now, it's not an auto buy. So yeah, I think a 4-star for this one. If I did rate it higher on Goodreads or Fable, I'm gonna lower that. Yeah. On Fable you can give half stars, so maybe I did give it 5.5. And then this book is, oh my god, did they say anything more about the plot in this one? So, I'm sorry, Reina is a queen's guard, she's in love with a mage, and then we find out pretty early on that the mage that is called Key or Chiant. I thought it was Chiante, but it's Chiant. But her nickname is Key. So Key, I'm just gonna say Key. So Key has this dream of opening a bookshop combined with tea. So a tea shop with books. So that's kind of their dream, and in the book we follow them on their journey to make this dream come true and what that takes for them. And there are some lovely fantasy elements to this, except her being a mage. There are dragons and griffins, I love griffins. Just give me a griffin baby right now. I will take care of it, I will nurture it, I will fly on it. Him, her, she. I will just give it. I love griffins. Can you tell? You know, that's not an eagle only. That's for me, that's a griffin head, okay? Okay, yeah. Done with that. So, this is the Swedish translation of The Wishing Game. I think the cover is the same in English. It's just the title that's like exchanged for the Swedish one. So the Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. I think that's how you pronounce her name. So the thing is, I was recommended this by a friend on Instagram. And then I also saw a video with a booktuber recommending it. So I went to the library and I saw it on a shelf and I was like, actually I saw it, okay, so this is the timeline. I saw a video about it, I went to the library, I saw it on recently returned books, so I grabbed it. When I came home, I saw a post from an Instagram friend that said she was reading this and she was loving it, and I was like, oh, wonderful! I have it at home because between me seeing the first YouTuber and me actually reading it, I had also seen another booktuber putting it on the worst books of 2024. So I was like, what am I supposed to think about this now? Is it gonna be good? Because, you know, I could see both points of view. So when my Instagram friend was reading it and enjoying it and loving it very, very much, I was like, oh, thank you. This might be, this is a sign, I'm gonna read it. So I read it. And it was so cute. I was a bit concerned going in about the single mother trope, because in this book we follow, what's her face? Lucy. We follow Lucy, who is a teacher assistant at a small school, or a big school, I don't know, at a school. And she wants to adopt one of the children there. There's a boy named Christopher, and their parents died, and he saw them dead. And when they asked him, do you have someone we can call that you want to live with until we can find you a foster home? And he said, yes, I want to live with Miss Lucy. So he lived with Miss Lucy for a week a year ago in this book. And she completely fell in love with this little boy. She wanted to be his mother, and he really, bonded with her. I don't know what this is, but he bonded with her, and he really wanted her to be his mom. So in the book, she's struggling to have ends meet so that she can apply for being his family home. I don't know the English term for it. To basically be his home for a while until she can actually adopt him. But she has a low income job. She lives in a flat with 3 other people, so it's hard. And then all of a sudden, there is this author, her favorite author, with her favorite book from childhood, that suddenly starts to write books again after not doing it for 6 years. And he announces a competition and says that there are only a few people that's going to be invited to this, and the winner will get his new book. The one and only copy of his new book will go to the winner. And this is a big hoo-ha. You know, this is a big thing, because this is a guy that's released 64 books over a number of decades, and then all of a sudden he goes dark, and then all of a sudden he comes back up again, and he's like, I have a book, but you have to win it. And Lucy was one of 4 children that ran away to his house when she was a child. So she's one of the people that gets a personal letter being invited to his island, where this competition is gonna be held. And there's also a side story, a romance going on between Lucy and her love interest that is on the island when she gets there. And she, that unfolds. And there's also 3 other competitors, and the story of her she wants to win because she wants to win the book so that she can publish it and have some money, have enough money to be able to afford what she needs. She needs a home of her own, preferably like 2-bedroom apartment, and a new car. She doesn't have a car. She needs a car. So that's kind of what she needs to be able to adopt Christopher. So that's why she's entering the competition. And this is when the book really takes a hold on me, when they reach when we find out about this competition. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it wasn't, these children's books aren't real, but they felt real when you read it, and it felt like I was invested so much. Not just because I wanted her to adopt Christopher, but in a way, like, it felt like if my favorite childhood author were to have a competition, I would be there, I would be there like this. And it felt like we really got to dive into these people's dreams, and follow their what drove them, and what they love, and the passion. It was just so filled with passion and love. It was cute, but it made me cry so many times. Oh, it made me cry. And yeah, this is a book worth reading. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna spoil you anything. I'm not gonna say who won the game, if anyone won the game, and how the book ended, because I want you to. This is a book, if you like, stories about adoptions and single mothers and that sort of thing, or if you like games. Like, I recently read the first and second book of the Heritage Games, and this felt kinda the vibes, like the mystery challenge, the challenge, the mystery, the pieces of the puzzle to put together, and that sort of thing. It was funny. It was fun, not funny. It was fun, and it made me cry. It made me feel things, and I read it in 2 days. Okay, I read it in 2 days, and it's over 300 pages. So yeah, and this is, I annotated it a bit. It's not mine, so I only tabbed it, and I need to get rid of these tabs before tomorrow. Because I'm gonna return these tomorrow. That's why I'm doing this video now. So those are my 2 most recent reads. Tell me if you read any of them, if you want to read any of them. Have you read more in the Tomes and Tea? I think this series is called Tomes and Tea. Tomes as in big books, I think. And The Wishing Game. Let me know if you read any of those. And yeah, so right now I'm reading something else. It's gonna take me a while to read that book, and I will check back in with you in maybe a week, because I do have a date with the library in a week from today, and then I will return whatever I read and up until then, and because I have a book to pick up latest the Friday in a week. I just got a notification today that I can pick it up, and I have a week to do it. So, but I'm not gonna pick it up tomorrow because I have too many books on my TBR right now, and I want the book that I am waiting for to be on my February TBR. so I'm gonna wait a little bit so I have all of February to read it. So thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Happy reading and happy weekend. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Tjingeling!